Hello, John from Pete at Tyson. It's 6:30 in the morning, which is too early, but it should be worth it because Nigel, our lovely Linn expert that you've all seen before, is taking a load of Pete at Tyson customers up to Glasgow to experience the Linn factory, and he's very kindly invited me along too, so let's not keep him waiting and get on the road.
I set up my camera before I left, hoping to capture some of the beautiful dramatic fells that I see on my hour and a bit commute north to Pete at Tyson Carlisle. However, the early morning mist had other plans. If you'd like to experience Linn Products or register interest in the next Pete at Tyson Linn factory tour, contact Linn at petertyson.co.uk. Arriving in good time, Nigel was as excited as I'd hoped.
Morning, John. How are you? What are you doing here this time in the morning?
Where are we going? Where are you taking me?
Well, we're taking you to Linn. We're going to Eaglesham, the Holy Grail. We are going to worship the altar of Linn and all things Linn with a good bunch of customers. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
This is just your best day ever, isn't it?
It is, and the sun is shining, there's blue skies. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
Look at his little happy face.
Buzzing.
All aboard for Nigel's happy place.
Nigel off to his happy place.
Upon arrival, we were welcomed into the impressive Linn home for a coffee and a look at some of the company's memorabilia. Adding to the factory's unique character is a subtle nautical theme, a nod to Glasgow's shipbuilding heritage. The doors feature round porthole windows and the central staircase has a distinct ship-like feel. To kick things off, let's remember Linn's origins. After getting married, founder Ivor Tiefenbrunn and his wife purchased a new hi-fi system. Disappointed with the sound, Ivor was advised by the store to upgrade his speakers, as they were supposedly the most important part of the system. When that didn't improve the sound to his satisfaction, a more powerful amplifier was added in a last-ditch effort to achieve the sound quality that he was looking for. I'll let Linn brand ambassador Paul Carlin pick up the story from here.
So back to the store one last time and they say, "Really sorry Mr Tiefenbrunn, you've got the best system we sell, there's no upgrades available." So Ivor's pretty despondent, what am I going to do here? Goes back to home. Now remember, this guy's a mechanical engineer, right? So an amazing brain, Ivor Tiefenbrunn. So what he does is, he takes the turntable and he goes out into the hall and he puts it on a hall table, right? Puts the needle in the record, shuts the door, runs back in, sits in his favourite seat, and immediately the music has come to life, right? It's emotional, it's clear, there's lots of definition, there's lots of detail, his heart's racing, his foot's tapping. He's actually found the answer. So he makes two discoveries at this point. One is that the speakers are in fact not the most important part of the most important part of the hi-fi chain, as was people were led to believe back then. It was actually the source. And the second discovery he made is what he was experiencing there was acoustic feedback. So those giant speakers that he was convinced to buy, they're pumping out so much air that it's interfering with the cartridge and the stylus on the end of the cartridge on that groove of the record. So as many of you know, there's so much detail, so much precious information in the groove of a record. So that was being disturbed, and that's what he was experiencing, kind of acoustic feedback. So that was the point where he decided, I want to make a turntable specifically designed to combat acoustic feedback, and a few years later the Sondek LP12 was born, and it's still a huge part of Linn. 52 years in the making, completely modular, as many of you know, so basically a person that bought an LP12 in 1973 could still be using it today. So that's how we began, and now we're going to show you how we make our products.
First stop, after a fetching anti-static jacket and quick safety briefing, the basement and metalwork. All aluminium is sourced from a local company a couple of miles down the road. These sheets will eventually become the chassis for Linn Select DSM or Magic DSM.
But this is essentially how life begins. We take a giant sheet of aluminium and then we punch it, cut it, fold it, do the whole lot, paint it, and then it's ready to go. We will use as much of this aluminium as we can, and then what we don't use gets placed here or in one of these white bags, is recycled by the original retailer, and it kind of comes back to us. So basically this piece of aluminium could have been in and out of the factory several times. So it's almost like a cyclical process.
After the aluminium has been cut, buffed and folded, a process called hemming is used to strengthen the screw holes. This ensures that components can be upgraded or changed repeatedly throughout the lifetime of your Linn product. Then it's off to painting.
So we don't use wet paint here, we use a dry coat powder paint. Wet paint can run, sometimes you just don't get a kind of perfect finish. With a dry coat powder paint, we know we can apply that paint across the whole product, and 99 times out of 100 we'll get a perfect finish. How do we do it though? So above me you can see this rail, right? So these are copper wires. These copper wires hang from the rail. The product hangs with these copper wires, and this rail passes round over the space of maybe like 10-15 minutes, all the way around here, and then in this box here, there's a chamber with 2 robotic arms, and those robotic arms spray the paint onto the metal.
For the Linn logos, a screen printing process is used, utilising either a stencil and an oven or a computerised screen printer that can handle multiple products simultaneously. On higher end Klimax models, the logos are laser etched whenever possible.
Single stage build is a big part of how we make things here. It made much more sense for one person to assemble an LP12 by hand from start to end than it would be to do it on a production line process. And that's still the process we use in the factory today. One engineer will build a product from start to end, test it, sign their name on the back, so a lot of you will have seen names on your Linn products. That's basically the person that assembled it and tested it. And then it's boxed up and off it goes to dispatch. So single stage build is a big part of how we make things here. It adds a little bit more personality to your products. Basically, you know that if you're buying something from Linn, you're getting an amazing sounding product, but ultimately one that's made, honestly, with love. People that work here put a lot of heart and soul into what they do. We're all very proud to work here, so a lot of care and attention goes into your products, and that all goes back to this process established in the 70s.
Dotted around the factory are these shelves, packed full of Linn history. All current and retired Linn products are made available to engineers for testing and reference purposes. The top floor of the factory is where the metalwork for Klimax level products is meticulously machined. The chassis for the Linn Klimax DSM, for example, is crafted from a single billet of aluminium. This design ensures superior acoustic isolation for the delicate internal circuitry.
Machined from aluminium as well. This is the top of a Klimax Solo 800 amplifier. 10 hours it takes to machine this, which seems crazy, 10 hours to do that.
If you have a Linn LP12, you may have wondered why the platter comes in 2 parts. This is why.
So that's still resonating, right? That's still vibrating in my hand. However, put it together, it's dead. It allows us to completely remove a lot of that resonance, so there's less distortion and you just get better sound, essentially. So every single part of the LP12 is engineered to reduce noise, and this is a huge part of it.
Okay, quiz time. What is the inspiration for the Linn logo and the reason that all of the model names contain a K?
So a lot of people think it's the stylus going onto a record. It's actually the point where the inner platter meets the base of the bearing, the thrust pad at the bottom of the bearing, and that's what the logo is.
Observing the massive billets of aerospace-grade aluminium and the millions of pounds worth of machinery truly highlighted Linn's dedication to keeping as much of their manufacturing in-house as possible. As Paul explained, this commitment allows them to maintain complete control over the quality of every single product.
We try to do as much in-house as possible. It's the way it's always been at Linn. The more we can take control of, the more kind of love goes into it, essentially.
Keeping things in-house, of course, extends to the electronics too. Linn's own PCB designs are sent to a company just 20 miles away. They send back blank boards ready for surface-mounted components.
So we do basically surface mount, so the chips that go onto the board, and we also do pin-through-hole. So that's a more traditional form of circuit boards. This is a job that could be done elsewhere in the world for much cheaper. We could probably save millions of pounds a year if we outsourced this, but we'd lose control of quality, first and foremost, timescales, delays in communication, etc. But also I think this is an example of what makes a Linn product so special. We make our own circuit boards, for goodness sake. I mean, how many companies can say they do that?
And being made in Glasgow, of course, means more shipbuilding references.
Clydebuilt was synonymous with ships built in Glasgow. back in the days where the shipbuilding industry was at its peak. So we put Clydebuilt on our circuit boards as one, a little nod to Scotland and Glasgow's engineering history, and two, as a mark of quality.
After a fantastic tour led by Paul, it was back to the Linn home for some lunch. Then we split into groups for the really fun bit, the demonstrations. The most memorable being the incredible Linn 360 passive with active bass loudspeakers, driven by 6 of the new Klimax Solo 500 power amplifiers. At the heart of the system, Klimax hub, Klimax exact box, and of course, the LP12 turntable where it all began. Both the 40th anniversary model and the stunning LP1250 both put on a fantastic show. It was wonderful to see new customers, long-time Linn fans and employees all coming together to share their passion for hi-fi and music. The Linn Klimax hub and 360 speakers with integrated exact was certainly a highlight, getting plenty of use as people eagerly played their favourite songs. It was a delight to see CEO Gilad Tiefenbrun personally engaging with everyone, discussing the company and their systems at home. It was clear that he was in his element, radiating pride as he saw his facility filled with such energy and enthusiasm. I, of course, had to say thank you and get a cheeky photo for posterity. After a truly fantastic day, my appreciation for the love and commitment that goes into every Linn product has just been deepened. The brand's unwavering pursuit of perfect sound, guided by the foundational principle of source first established by founder Ivar Tiefenbrun in the 1970s, remains as steadfast as ever. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Linn in this ever-evolving and challenging hi-fi landscape. With Gilad and his dedicated team of talented and passionate individuals at the helm, I have no doubt that the company will continue to exceed the expectations of both new and long-time Linn fans. You'll see me in the next video. Take care.